Welcome to the TNT Monster Truck Challenge here on ESPN. I'm Scott Douglas along with Chris Chapman back at the Charleston, West Virginia Civic Center. Now today you'll see another full day of racing action from Charleston as well as a day of racing on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's right, Scott. The superstars you've watched previously here in Charleston, that being the Gravedigger, USA 1, Nightlife, and the Jersey Outlaw, will be going head-to-head in Memphis against the number 1 and 2 trucks on the 1989 circuit, and that, of course, is the Equalizer and the Carolina Crusher.
That'll be coming up a little later, but let's pick back up with the action in Charleston, West Virginia.
Really enjoyed our stay along the banks of the Kanawha River in Charleston, West Virginia. And the TNT Monster Trucks had some great racing competition. Last week here on ESPN, we looked at the first 2 days of action. Day number 3 starts with the hot hand, the Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson has been in the finals the first 2 competitions in Charleston. He won the opener, then was upset in the final on night number 2 by Pony Express. Here to open things up, he goes up in the first round against Kid Rarrick's Thunder Chicken. And the Digger is looking good. Full-length victory on an indoor course, pretty unheard of, but the Digger put Thunder Chicken away impressively. That set up the rematch in the second round. You saw it last week on ESPN. The Kid, the Pony Express, Anthony 48, he upset Digger in the finals. They meet in the second round on day number 3. And he almost pulled it off again, but this time, by the narrowest of margins, Gravedigger wins it by a fraction. So Digger moves into the semifinals, but Pony Express served notice that he can compete with the superstars, given all things being equal. He looked good in Charleston, West Virginia. Mopar Magic comes out in second round competition against Mike Wine's Outlaw Ford. Close, very tight, but the victory goes to the Outlaw, and the Ford is running strong as smoke billows from the Mopar Magic Dodge. So the Outlaw has worked his way now into the semifinals. Our other quarterfinal matchup, Nightlife against Wild Hair. The new design, the new paint job, and a new aggressive Marvin Smith, the old Stomper driver, now in the Wild Hair against Dave Wysorek from Grand Island, Nebraska, and the consistent Nightlife Chevrolet. It's a heartbeat battle. And it's all Nightlife. Dave Wysorek gets the victory, so you can put Wysorek in the semifinal round. The final semifinalist is determined in a matchup between Bennett Clark's Clydesdale out of Powder Springs, Georgia, and the Buffalo trimmer, John Kwasniewski from Buffalo, New York. A little north-south civil war, if you will, in Charleston. And the Yankee pulls it in. Johnny K, John Kwasniewski, and the Buffalo Tremor. That's how we got to the Final Four in Charleston. You'll see it all shake down. The semifinals coming right up here on ESPN. Maybe the rivalry of 1988 was Bigfoot and USA 1. Last year, Carolina Crusher and Equalizer. This could be the rivalry of the 90s. Gravedigger against the Outlaw. And this time in Charleston, West Virginia, it's the Digger. Dennis Anderson puts away Mike Wine and that strong-running Outlaw Ford. Dennis Anderson has some big plans for 1990. My colleague Army Armstrong spent some time with him to find out about them.
Well, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger are starting out 1990 just like he started off 1989, that being like gangbusters. Your national points leader after 2 events with 1 win and 1 second place. Dennis, what did you do different?
Well, we went home, over our season that we had off, which we didn't have much time off. I put a smaller motor in the truck. I'm running 2 carburetors instead of fuel injection. And it seems to make the truck stay together a lot better. And that was the thing last year. I ran hard when I ran. It ran super fast, but it just wasn't consistent. I want to try to be consistent all through the season this year.
The truck behind us, the truck you ran all last year, you detuned, you finally got it tweaked to where it's really working for you, but we understand there's a new Gravedigger in the works. Why are you building a new truck if you finally have this one ironed out?
Well, I feel like, we're allowed 1 truck change through the race season. If I can come back about 3 months up the road here, come out with some fresh iron to beat on, I think I stand a lot better chance. The new truck is going to be a lot lighter, thanks to Creative Glass. They've created this fiberglass body for the Gravedigger now. We've got a real light tube frame. We're trying to work on a new suspension right now and get the truck to work a lot better. And you know, like I say, when I come out with some new iron, you know, at 3 months into the season, I stand a lot better chance.
Let's talk to the competitors for a minute. If you had anything to say to these competitors, and it is getting to be very, very competitive now. There's no 1 or 2 trucks dominating anymore. What would Dennis Anderson say to the rest of these fellas about 1990?
All I can say is the guys better look out, because I'm going to be hammered down all season. And when I come out with this new truck, hopefully we'll have everything ironed out. It's going to be shame on them.
It's been shame on him so far in Charleston. Let's see who he'll meet in the finals in round number 3 at Charleston. It'll be the Nightlife Chevrolet. Dave Wysorek pulls off a narrow victory over John Kwasniewski's Buffalo Tremor. So the final will send Nightlife up against the Gravedigger. Kwasniewski giving it a hard run, but you can see Dave Wysorek looked much smoother, and that was the difference. He was able to take a nice clean line over his set of cars. Wysorek gets the win, but he has to go up against the hot hand in Charleston, West Virginia, as the crowd stands for the Monster Smash final. Thumbs up from the Gravedigger. He'll meet Nightlife, the final in Charleston. And it's all Gravedigger. 2 for 3 for Dennis Anderson in Charleston, West Virginia. What a great way for the most popular monster truck in the world to start the 1990 racing season, because he'll leave Charleston as the World Championship points leader. One more time, the Digger puts away Dave Wysorek's Nightlife. But the competition gets tougher for Dennis Anderson. Bigfoot, Equalizer, Carolina Crusher are waiting on him in Memphis. We'll go there next as TNT comes right back at you here on ESPN. Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis, Tennessee. No Elvis sightings this week in Memphis, but the Gravedigger on hand, and he is certainly having a little heartbreak hotel. After winning 2 of 3 in Charleston, West Virginia, it's problems for the Gravedigger. He couldn't even make a qualifying run. We're going to check out in the pits and see exactly what's going wrong.
Line on the left, Dennis. It started coming out in the second one, too. So you got pressure on the line. You got pressure pushed by both lines.
Yeah, I ran into a problem. We came in after introduction. I didn't even get to qualify tonight after driving 800 miles. It's kind of disappointing that a little piece like this could stop my truck, but nevertheless it did. You know, I came back into the pit here. We had a steering problem. We started ripping the cylinders apart. That wasn't it. We came back to the pump and found it. And it's so far along now that it's too late for us to even try to qualify. So we're going to be out tonight. We'll come back again next week and be stronger than ever.
First round action in Memphis. Awesome Kong and Steve Kane back in business. He puts away Ken Depp and Whiskey Business. Whiskey Business is the old Wild Hare. Of course, the new Wild Hare is the conversion from Stomper that Marvin Smith's driving, as he bought the name from the Brink. Whiskey Business, though, not enough to hang in there with Awesome Kong. Steve Kane out of Killeen, Texas. Awesome Kong has looked good early on. He got a win earlier this year in Birmingham, Alabama. Second first-round matchup will send Clydesdale, Bennett Clark, up against the guy who was runner-up a year ago in the points, Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter, and he starts off 1990 as far as the points race goes with a victory. Now, Carolina Crusher did not race in the opening weekend, so this was his first side-by-side run of the year, and it looks like Gary Porter picking up right where he left off in 1989, and that's with a strong run and a win over the Clydesdale Chevrolet. King Crunch against Nightlife. We're going to give you an interesting listen and view of this race, because we're going to go into the cockpit and listen to Scott Stevens' radio communication.
Good run. Excellent. Excellent. Hey, boys, that's all you got to do. I was asleep at the starting line. I saw green. The grass is growing. Talk at you.
King Crunch, as you were able to really get a listen inside. Now, we gave you a listen to his communications. That's John Kwasniewski inside the Buffalo Tremor as the camera inside the cockpit on Kwasniewski. So let's watch Buffalo Tremor's run against the defending world champion Equalizer. There's Johnny K with the in-cab camera. Thumbs up from the Buffalo Tremor. He's racing the defending world champion. Boy, is Equalizer looking good in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's take a look at it once again, though, from inside the cab. You're going to ride right now with the Buffalo Tremor. You got a good view right there of the beat that these monster truck racers take on each and every run. John Kwasniewski unbuckled, but he's beaten by the defending world champion Equalizer. Up next, Bigfoot is back for the first time in more than a year on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Stay tuned here on ESPN. Bigfoot is back, ladies and gentlemen. The original monster truck took most of 1989 off. He found himself, frankly, unable to compete at the upper levels of TNT monster truck racing. So what did he do? He went out and designed an all-new truck. Bob Chandler's Bigfoot 8 looked stronger than ever. So Bigfoot did not get down when he was having trouble keeping up. He went back and got better. Look how much better as he blows away Awesome Kong in Memphis, Tennessee. That, my friends, is an impressive win for Andy Brass and Bigfoot. Brass comes out of the truck and the Ford fans are excited.
Andy, we talked about you having this field covered early. All the other drivers are trying to figure it out. Now you come out and really throw a trump card on them. You go to the other lane. You got so much confidence it doesn't make any difference where you run this truck?
Yeah, that's about right. You know, the truck's running real good tonight, and lane choice is not real particular to me right now at this moment. You know, both lanes are looking pretty good. We're landing about the end down on the ramp, so it's just kind of where I want to start out on the hill.
USA 1 and Steve Wilkie going up against Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. A Chevy battle. And the Crusher gets the victory. USA 1, Steve Wilkie still trying to live up to the legend of Rod Liptow, the '88 world champion. While that may not be fair to a new driver in Wilkie, certainly the comparisons remain. And right now, not able to keep up with Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher, the runner-up in the world points chase a year ago.
Well, Gary Porter, you get to go against the devil with the blue dress on tonight in the next round, I believe.
I know this will be the first time I've been up against a new truck, and it's going to be a very tough race. I'm going to have to just play my cards right and hope everything goes well for me.
Don't underestimate him. Run your race. I'll be there. That's 10-4. Oil pressure, everything good? That's all right. Good job. Yeah.
So Scott Stevens and King Crunch getting a victory. But make no mistake about it, Scott Stevens is very unhappy about the fact that Bigfoot took a year off and is able to come back with a strong truck.
Scott, the question of the night, is there anything anybody can do to beat that blue Ford?
That's going to be a Bigfoot year, Army.
You really think it will? I mean, this is just the first time everybody's been together. You're conceding?
Yeah, the year's over as far as the champion. That truck's brand new, and he's dominating by a second. You know, there's nothing, because everybody else, you know, we're out here racing every weekend, and we're not going to be able to get our truck together, you know, to build a new truck this year. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's over with unless they crash the truck.
Scott Stevens very blunt about the fact that Bob Chandler taking a year off the TNT circuit and putting in the time and research and development has a truck that's superior. But I'll tell you, there's one guy that's not going to back off from him one iota, and that's the defending world champion Equalizer. He meets the all-new Wild Hair in the second round. David Morris goes up against Marvin Smith. And Equalizer looking just as impressive as Bigfoot as he mauls the Wild Hair in Memphis, Tennessee. He was the Monster Truck Driver of the Year in 1989, and he's looking good in 1990. David Morris on the right side of your screen puts Marvin Smith and Wild Hair on the trailer. Boy, that was a two-length victory indoors, almost unheard of. But this kid and his team, Gary Cook and the gang from Tennessee, are the champs.
Looks like you're going to be going against King Crunch in the next round. And Scott Stevens' interview, he seems to be psychologically whipped. He's already ready to give this thing to Bigfoot. How about you?
I ain't worried about Crunch. I've beat him the last 3 races we've had. Foot. I'm trying to make it through the race here because I know if I can beat Crunch, I'm going to be in the finals with Foot, and it's going to take everything I can possibly do out here to beat the Foot truck tonight because he's running real fast times, but I'm going to put her to the wood.
You're not afraid of Foot?
No. I'm just saving my gusto for him.
We'll be right back to see how the 1989 World Champion handles Bigfoot on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Stars of monster truck racing. The major league is TNT in monster truck racing. And here you see it right here. Bigfoot and Andy Brass out of St. Louis, Missouri. Last year's World Championship runner-up, Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher from North Carolina. Side by side in the semifinal. And it's all the big blue Ford. Andy Brass and Bigfoot whipping Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. We're going to get another look at it. And man, is this brand new Bigfoot design showing them something in Memphis, Tennessee.
Brass with a 4-second qualifying, a 3:75 first round, a 3:72 second round. What can I say? What's up next?
Well, we keep getting a little faster. The track's getting a little bit better. You know, I'm getting a little used to the truck, trying to get it adjusted to the track. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think the truck's going to be running good, so we're really looking to take it tonight.
You look inside the cab with the King Crunch driver, Scott Stevens. He'll be taking on the defending world champion Equalizer in the semifinal round. And what we're going to do is let you get a listen to King Crunch and his crew as they try to upset David Morris and the Equalizer. Let's go inside with Scott Stevens.
Be careful. Good try.
Scott Stevens falls to the Equalizer, but there's liquid pouring out from underneath of David Morris's truck. We'll look at it once again. Scott Stevens and King Crunch get a little bit too much air, and Equalizer wins it by a half length. David Morris will meet Bigfoot in the Monster Smash final at Memphis, Tennessee. Let's take the ride with Scott Stevens and King Crunch. You can see he takes a beating in the truck, but also took a beating on the track from the Equalizer.
David, a 4:06 puts you in a final, but a lot of liquid's coming out of the truck. What is it?
Just some hose clamps loosened up and the radiator hose pulled off when I impacted on the cars.
Okay, now you said it doesn't bother you to go against this guy in a final. It's that time. What's going through your mind right now?
Coming over that dirt hill down there, I'm gonna try to come over just as hard as I possibly can. I think the truck, it's handling good enough now that I can come over it wide open.
Can you beat Bigfoot tonight?
It's gonna be a tough race. I can't really say that because Foot's running so fast of a times here tonight, and I really had to push this truck to the limit yet, so I really don't know.
We'll wait and see. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
We are about to find out if the best truck in the world in 1989 can handle the all-new, state-of-the-art Bigfoot. This new truck has everyone bamboozled. The other drivers on the circuit haven't figured out yet what makes this truck so fast. Some say it's more horsepower, but Andy Brass says that isn't so. It's the new suspension and the lightweight frame.
Yeah, it's sounding bad. You know, it's just the injection. We put mufflers on it, quiet it down a little bit. And like I say, I think just the new design of the truck, we're putting all the horsepower more to the ground than what a lot of the other guys are. And they think we're running a lot bigger motor than what we really are.
There it is, ready for the Monster Smash final. This is what they came to see in Memphis, Tennessee. The all-new, state-of-the-art Bigfoot Ford out of the Bob Chandler camp from St. Louis, Missouri. Everything the Bigfoot shop and crew could design, they put into this truck. A brand new suspension to go up against the revolutionary suspension from a year ago, the coilover suspension of the Equalizer. Now, the Equalizer runs coilovers. That's coilover springs, getting away from the conventional leaf spring suspension. Bigfoot has really taken that a step further by not only running the special shocks, the coilover springs, but also going to a counterlever system to get the suspension to almost act with each wheel independently. And this truck lands very soft, but it also really comes out of the hole. Bigfoot has taken technology and tried to go a step further with the design of Bigfoot 8. Gary Cook thinks this Equalizer Chevrolet is just as much the wave of the future as Bigfoot. We're going to find out for the first time, head-to-head, side-by-side, Bigfoot and Equalizer. And it's the world champion Equalizer backing it up. David Morris gets it done. He beats Andy Brass and Bigfoot in Memphis as Bigfoot busts the transmission. Equalizer blows him away to win it in round number 1 for 1990. Hey, this is the rivalry that we're going to be watching throughout the year. But in the first step, in the first battle, head-to-head, side-by-side, the world champ from '89 puts away Bigfoot for 1990. A very excited David Morris got the win. Let's watch it from the end zone camera. You can see him come out of the hole. They came across the hill together, but as they hit the first set of cars, the transmission broke on Bigfoot. Equalizer wins it going away. David Morris had a lot to prove here in Memphis, Tennessee tonight.
Well, the defending champion from 1989, a lot of guys were going to roll over. You never doubted yourself one bit, did you, Dave?
I never doubted it one bit. All night long out here, I've been racing hard, but I guess you might say that's the first time I actually pushed that truck beyond its limit. I actually came over that hill just as hard as it would go and never checked up.
Do you have any idea what happened to Bigfoot? Because he was right there with you. I mean, it was a race until halfway over the cars.
I don't have any idea. I wasn't paying any attention to Bigfoot. All I was going to do is get this other end first.
You definitely did that. Congratulations. I'll tell you what. I think you taught a lot of people a lot of stories here, a lot of lessons. You don't quit. You go into that winner's circle.
That's right, and you don't put it to the wood till it's time to.
A very happy David Morris in the equalizer. You know, winning the world championship, he could have gotten a little bit complacent or a little bit cocky. But with Bigfoot here to start 1990, obviously Morris already had something else to prove. And I know he's got to feel he proved it in round 1. But Morris knows a lot more confrontations will be coming up with this new state-of-the-art Bigfoot. You know, Bigfoot could have continued running on TNT's Monster Truck Challenge last year, but it didn't seem like he wanted to continue taking a thrashing like he took from 1988 and on into 1989 from the likes of Rod Littell and USA 1, Carolina Crusher, and this new equalizer a year ago. The Bigfoot had trucks at race. It decided to go back, do a little R&D, do a lot of R&D, and just work on building for 1990. Guys like David Morris and everyone else raced with what they had while Bigfoot built that new truck. Now, Morris showed him a thing or two tonight, and certainly Equalizer's the best hope for these trucks against Bigfoot until the new Gravedigger, Carolina Crusher, USA 1, Nightlife, and Outlaw trucks are ready for outdoor racing. That'll be coming up in April. But right now, Morris opens with a win. Well, this week on ESPN, we've wrapped up the great racing at the Charleston, West Virginia Civic Center. But, Chris, in terms of what we've seen at Memphis, Tennessee, that's really just the beginning.
That's right, Scott. We still have highlights from 2 more days of racing at the Mid-South Coliseum. Until next week, I'm Chris Chapman for Scott Douglas. Thanks for joining us again for the TNT Monster Truck Challenge here on ESPN.